there any public, anyone here for public comment? Can I get a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion to approve the minutes, Madam Chairwoman.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Okay, so now we have our agenda focus, which is our elementary school principals presenting on responsive classrooms. Thank you so much for being here.
Madam Chair, if I could just give a brief introduction to the program. We're very appreciative to have the elementary principals and assistant principals here this evening, and appreciate them bringing this program to the district, and also for Mrs. Almeida for supporting the program within the district. Excuse me, Mary Almeida. The program recognizes the need for social emotional learning and school-wide approaches. So with the support of the Bristol Warren Education Foundation, federal grants, and local district funds, we were able to have all principals participate in the 4-day introductory responsive classroom training. All teachers and teacher assistants have had at least one full day of training with national presenters, and some have had more than that. There have also been several teachers that are now in the process of becoming district trainers for us to reduce the cost and promote sustainability of the program. And we have learning that has been ongoing and just blossoming in the schools through UCOL's Tuesday teacher tips and book studies that have gone on across the schools. The program is very well researched in supporting not only academic growth and development, but also social emotional. And the studies find that classrooms that have high levels of implementation have higher academic achievement than other schools as well. So it's one of the most evidence-based programs out there. We're very fortunate to have it here, and I will turn it over to Mrs. Sadler, who will introduce the program.
Hi, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
This is a great program, and it started right around 1981. There were some public school teachers in Greenfield, Massachusetts, who felt a need to really address the whole child, to look at their stages of development. What was characteristic of a child at age 5, at age 6, at age 7? And to work with those kinds of characteristics in a school. So they started their own little school called the Greenfield Center School in 1981. And through this approach, they were using research at the time to see what they could do to try to improve social emotional learning and involve the whole entire child. Finally, this grew, and in 1990, it actually, in Washington, D.C., it became called the responsive classroom. So it's been around for a while. It's around 35 years that this has been in existence. What we're finding is that teachers and schools that have been using this for a long time have done exactly what Diane had mentioned, and that is that they perform academically very well. The students feel like they belong. No more is there the snide remarks or sarcasm in the school. It really is an embodiment of really accepting students and helping them where they are and trying to help them to grow emotionally and socially, and learning about empathy and learning about responsibility and learning about the characters, really what we consider character traits, positive character traits that we would like everyone to have is what this really works on. So I did put at your places tonight a couple of forms for you. One is the information that we give to parents. It's an information packet for parents. The second one was actually, it's a threefold that I didn't fold for you. This was a sample of what we used in the elementary schools this year. It was created by Stacy Dunning, who's a teacher at Pulte Andrews, and we were able to just adapt it with each of our school names on it. But what she did was she was also trained with us for the 4 days this summer, and she put together kind of an overview of what, so we gave this to parents on our open house night, so they'd have some idea of what we were about to challenge our students with this year. And the third piece that I did give you is, this was created by Lori Hayden, who's a school psychologist at Hugh Cole School. She looked through, there's a lot on the words that we use. There's different ways of managing classroom language. So there's reinforcing, And there's samples of reinforcing, reminding, and redirecting, and you'll see it's like a little stoplight page like this, that some of the phrases and some of the ways that we begin and use language in the classroom. So this is a general approach to teaching. It's been based on research, as we know, and it considers lots of practices that involve the whole child. So as far as this responsive classroom, yes, Bill?
I'm sorry, I'm about to do something that drives me crazy when other people do it.
What's that?
Interrupting someone before I have a chance to begin.
That's fine.
I apologize, I really do.
No worries.
Because I'm a little unclear on something. I don't want to make sure I'm thinking like you're thinking while you're talking. Because you're talking about social emotional learning. Do you mean social emotional learning that I'm learning about my own social emotions, or am I learning other things via my social emotional makeup?
Okay, so that's a little confusing to me, but let me explain what I mean. I think that kids come to us today and they haven't had a lot of opportunity many times to learn about what it is to be a responsible person, what it is to take care of their own things, what it is to feel for someone who has a situation that needs to be thoughtful. Some of the things that we do for morning meeting, for example, we'll get to that in a little while, is every morning they have a meeting and students learn to actually look at each other in the eye and shake their hand and do an activity with another person where they're actually in contact with that person. When they walk in the classroom, the teacher says to them, "Good morning, Bill, how was your game last night? How'd you do?" Or whatever it is. So they know about the student. I've been working in education for 30 some years, and it's always really been those relationships that you establish with kids and getting them, understanding them, taking them from where they are to grow and to be more balanced as people. So I don't know if I answered your question. I probably
you
did.
explain to me what you think, so I can enter into what you're saying now and understand what you're
Okay.
talking.
So a lot of kids don't know that when you shake someone's hand, you actually look at them in the eye. They don't know that when someone greets you, you respond to them. I mean, we're starting really basically. This is very basic kind of things. And also in the classroom, and I'll talk about it later, we have chimes. And responsive classroom just use a chime. And my teachers have started with their chimes this year. They said, "Cindy, it's like Pavlov's dogs. When they hear a chime, they all stop, no matter what they're doing." So we're trying to teach them we use time effectively if we all follow the same, if we all use the same kinds of rituals and routines in a classroom. So if they go in my classroom and they know that in this classroom you come in, you do certain things, and you have a routine, then they know when they go to art class, the teacher's also using the chime, and she's also using the same language, so that it becomes more of a culture. This then becomes really the culture. The culture of the school becomes the responsive classroom. I hope you understand that. So it's from the classroom, it's from greeting them at the door into a larger scope of really being the culture of the school. And that is really initiated and supported by the administrators, by the teachers, by the TAs have now understand the language they're to use. We've done some training with them. So everyone understands what we're trying to do. Okay? So I just want to make sure that that's clear. So we're really trying to, we're trying to promote a positive community so that everyone feels like they belong, that they're significant. There's nothing, people that go to school sometimes and they don't feel like they're part of it, they don't get invested. So you want kids excited, you want to give them in the academic piece, they like to use engaging academics. In other words, give kids choice. Let them have the opportunity to be active and interactive. And they also look very, very closely at what you're like as a 9-year-old. 9-year-olds are very active. They do this, they do that. They have this in their social and emotional thing. So we really need to tailor what we're doing to where those kids are at in their developmental stage. So we're trying to use all those as well. So I know this is like a lot, but this is basically what it's about. Now they have programs on the Joyful Classroom, for example, is one of their books. So it gets into many different aspects of the classroom so that it is a joyful experience for the kids. There's the power of our words. There's nothing more powerful than the words that teachers use and that we use back and forth with students, and how we respond to things and how we manage many different things. And so we did that as a book study at my school last year. They've done it at other schools. So there's many different aspects. You'll hear more about the morning meeting in a few minutes. But there's many different things that we do that really, the kids really enjoy it. They're getting a lot from it, and we're also doing a lot of different book groups as well with that. So I'm finished, I think. So I did too much, but I wanted to just give you an idea. So like say a student, for example, they'll get to this later, but suppose you want to redirect someone. So instead of shouting at a student or raising your voice or telling them that they did it wrong the first time, what you're going to do is, it's very clear, quiet, and direct. So it's time to listen, it's time to read. You know, it's something like we use safe bodies when we work with kindergartners that are like this. You know, and they start getting that message. So we use calmness, we use similar kinds of comments, and it is, I invite you to come visit. It is amazing, amazing what the teachers are doing with this. They are embracing it, they are doing a super job, and now I'm going to let someone else speak. Does anyone have any questions of me as the basic introduction? Thank you. They're on this one. This is really fun. It's just this one. Can you believe I can't see that? That's where we're at.
The classroom practice components of responsive classroom, the highlight is the morning meeting, but they also start the year with the kids creating their own classroom rules, and the teacher starts out with an exercise that asks them about their hopes and dreams, what are their hopes for this school year, and she kind of turns that into a manifest of, you know, how we should treat each other in our classroom and how we'll treat the classroom supplies and how we'll act within the school kind of thing. Everything that's introduced in the first 6 weeks of school, the teacher models the way it should be done. So it's very clear, it's very explicit, there's just no guesswork when you say to a child, hey, should you be acting like that? That's not what you say. You say, I'm expecting everybody's body to be still right now with their hands by their side. You say exactly the action you want from them, and you're very clear. Positive teacher language, as Cindy mentioned, my school is also doing the power of your words. We had done it actually 5 or 6 years ago in different pieces, but the adult language is very important. It's very respectful. It's a very mutually respectful program for the kids and for the teachers. Instead of discipline, it's more of a logical consequence. If you have spilled water on the floor, your consequence is to pick the water up. It's to make right what you made wrong, if that is so the case. So it really kind of is using common sense and logical parameters for discipline. And the meeting also has a lot of academic choice in it. Some teachers do a very, very academic morning meeting where they might theme it around the afternoon social studies or the science theme or even a math concept. And so when they advance the slide one, no, that's not very advanced. Side, okay. In the morning meeting, the components are greeting. So everybody comes into the circle and the teacher says, oh, we're going to do a butterfly greeting, or we're going to do a rain cloud meeting, or we're going to greeting, or we're going to say hello to somebody by choosing numbers or whatever it might be. Then they have a chance to share, and that share might be, you know, something fun you did this weekend, or it might be a math equation, or it might be, you know, a question that the teacher poses to each person. And then they have a group activity where they do something that's probably a little bit energetic. And they also have a message written by the teacher, and a lot of times that message outlines the day or talks about a special event that they're going to participate in. And if you'd like to see a clip of the morning meeting, how do I on the clip? Bottom? Nope, that wasn't it. Here's one. is a little YouTube clip of what a morning meeting routine might look like.
One thing you remember about how we played that game so it's fun and safe. Daniel, what's one thing you remember? Don't miss any words in this one. Lena?
You have to listen to what
All right, today we're going to stand up, the edge of the rug, make sure your feet are at the very edge of the rug, and we're going to play the toe-to-toe game. So let's think about what we do for the toe-to-toe game. Raise your hand if you have one thing that you remember about how we play that game so it's fun and safe. Daniel, what's one thing you remember?
completely silent.
Don't miss any words in this one. Lena?
You have to listen to directions. If you're not, maybe your direction is go to a partner and touch toes. When you get a lesson, you're gonna touch elbows.
Ah, very important to listen to those directions so you know what to do. How are we going to move in the circle so we are safe and not bumping into each other? Because there's a lot of people who move in a circle.
Go
That,
around.
so you're going to move, how? How are you going to move your body?
Slowly and carefully.
I'm going to get the first direction, everybody listening. You're going to go into the circle and find a partner and give them a high five. This is your high five partner. I'm not sure how are we doing numbers here. Everybody a partner? Okay. Now, look at this person. This is your high five partner. Go to somebody else and touch elbows. Okay, look at that person. That's your elbow partner.
So that's a kindergarten example of a morning meeting, but certainly the 5th grade, 4th grade teachers do ones that are very sophisticated and have some academics and have energizers in them and different components. I try to attend the morning meeting as many mornings as I can in one of the classrooms, sit in their circle, do their introduction with them, do their activity with them. I like that example. So I'll take that. Does anybody have any questions on any components of the morning meeting or of the activities?
Hi, welcome to the Take Control of the Noisy Class videos. Now in this video, I want to give you a little used and often forgotten.
I don't know what that is. It's a little bit commercial, it's not part of the presentation. Yeah. I can't see the real. To the left, yes, we can't just do those changes. Well, a couple of my colleagues have already touched upon my topic, which is creating rules for classroom. But the most important thing about creating rules for classroom is that students are a big part of that. As Tara might have said, their hopes and dreams become their goals for school and their classroom. If your children are more apt to make the rules, they're more apt to follow them. So students create classroom rules to ensure an environment that allows all class members to meet their learning goals. And that's where the hopes and dreams come in. They're reviewed all the time, especially after a time away from school like vacation. You may have to revisit those rules and revisit those hopes and dreams and expectations. So that's really important. Rule generation. The teacher gives children the opportunity to think of and share their own ideas for rules. So there's that community piece. You just don't take the teacher's ideas, you take the ideas of the classroom. Second point is they're encouraged to brainstorm a list of many possible rules, but really narrowing it down to 3 or 4 that are easy to remember. And most importantly is that the rules are posted and they are referred to all the time. And sometimes children do break the rules, so we have some ideas for doing that. Especially if a student breaks the rule, you want to name the rule and behavior that they've broken. Okay, you want to stop it, and you want to use some redirecting language, and then you want to move on. You want them to own that behavior, you correct it, and you move on. And that's, I think you'll find a lot of that in your packet, this 2-pager, which talks about natural consequences when you break a rule. If you drop something or spill water on the floor, the natural consequence is to clean it up. If you've spoke to someone not so kindly, the natural consequence is to apologize for your behavior. You may do it in words or you may do it in writing. So if you accidentally knock someone over in recess, oh, I'm sorry, let me get you up. I hope this won't happen again, I didn't mean to hurt you. So just stopping it when it happens, using some redirecting, you're not blaming them, you're just correcting it, and they can move on from there. So those, the classroom rules are really important, and when they make them up, when they make them as a classroom, they're more apt to follow them and abide by them. The second piece is interactive modeling. I know that Mrs. McAuliffe talked about that. This is a really big initiative in our schools this year. We really can't assume that children know how to do things, from opening up the paper on a straw to a little carton to lining up, to putting their backpack away, to opening a locker, to standing in line, to going to a special. So every activity in our school, we take the time in the first 6 weeks of school to model the expected behavior and practice that expected behavior. Today we had an assembly, and we have practiced what does assembly behavior look like. It's your posture, it's your eye contact. Where are your hands? Where are your feet? If you have books, they're under the seat. If you have a water bottle, where do you put it? Otherwise, they're jiggling and all out of sorts. And so, you're ready to learn position. What does it look like? So everything has to be modeled. And during morning meeting is a great time to model expected behaviors. So that first 6 weeks of school, you're modeling everything in your classroom. And you're modeling, a big one for us is lining up and traveling to specialists and going to the bus. And what does it sound like? It's silent. What does your body language look like? It's safe.